Let's face it, tool sprawl is real. What if you could simplify how you and your team prospect, sell, manage, and operate using a unified data model? Welcome to One Amazing Thing About Aurasell. Today we're talking with Jason Eubanks, co-founder and CEO at Orsell, and he's going to be sharing one amazing thing about their platform with us today. Jason, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Greg. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing this in action in a minute here. Before we do, though, why don't you start by giving a little background on you and your role at Orsell?
Sure. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Orsell. And prior to founding Orsell, I was a go-to-market operator, building out sales, marketing, and CS teams over 20 years. And have had the great pleasure of working with some brands that you may know by some fantastic founders like Meraki and Twilio, Mark Forge, and then most recently was the CRO running all of go-to-market for Harness. In that journey, we went from 1 million to 100 million. And in that time period, while I was there, that's where I met my co-founder, Srinivas Bondi. So that's kind of the backstory for who I am and how we came about to establish Orsell.
Nice, nice. So yeah, but before we take a look at the platform, why don't you also share, what feature you're going to share with us today, and who's the audience, and why is it important to them?
Sure. So the platform is an AI native go-to-market platform. We serve marketers, sellers, SDRs, sales managers, execs, operations teams, and of course, yes. So we've built an AI native go-to-market platform to unify the data and automate workflows across the entire customer lifecycle. So
Yeah.
we really believe that as a buyer journey begins with awareness and is a continuous loop and interacting with the solution provider and the vendor, that they shouldn't have to go through a fragmented experience supported by dozens and dozens of tools that are cobbled together and fragmented vendor experience on the back end of that. And so, having lived that life for 20 years,
Right.
we built Orsell to solve that problem. The capability that we'll highlight today, we'll log in and you'll see a screen of accounts that were dynamically populated through an automated ICP and dynamically pulling in the contacts based on an automated buyer persona. And that's what we'll see initially. But we're going to jump right in from there into automated AI enrichment and custom AI enrichment.
Great, great. Well, yeah, let's take a look. Why don't you share your screen?
Sure, sounds good. All right. So as we click in, we'll see the example of a user experience logging in for the first time. As I mentioned, we have about 10,000 agents that automate a lot of work in the background. One of the things they do, our constellation of agents go out and walk our customer's website. They can pull in, enterprise documentation like first meeting docs, PRDs, enablement docs, etc. And from there, we learn what the ICP is and what your buyer persona, champion persona, user personas are. And from that, we automate populating the accounts list here dynamically based on ICP and a descending order, inject auto intelligence via tagging and track all kinds of enablement or engagement and all kinds of other information about it. Here, we're actually seeing custom AI enrichment, and we'll come back to that in just a sec. But so this is a day one, hour one experience of logging in with Orsell. This is all dynamically created for the sellers of this using the platform. But if I jump into this account, we of course will see a lot of information here, buying history, a timeline of engagement. Down here, we'll start to see some automated and templatized AI enrichment about this account. If there's history, they're already a customer, we'll do things like automatically uh, you know, surface up account expansion insights, product telemetry, usage, things like that. But all of this is customizable, and they can our users can come in here very easily and simply click here and create their own AI enrichment blocks. We call these AI blocks. Um, and so this is one form of AI enrichment, which is really derived from all the signals, emails, the meetings, phone calls, SMS, et cetera. So pulling all the internal and external signals on and enriching sort of what's important about the account. This works on accounts, opportunities, contacts, and what to do next. But what I want to show the audience today is automated AI enrichment for that account research. So,
Mm.
when we think about where we started in that ICP territories, we want to optimize people's time for outcomes. Where should they spend their time with the right accounts, with the right personas that are aligned for their solution? But you also want to send them into those meetings or those prospecting engagements prepared. Arm them with the value hypothesis, really give them the research about this target account. We can see this target account here is we've automated the research about this target account through a value pyramid, which is a framework that many sellers are accustomed to working through in the value-based selling processes that live out there in the B2B world. And you can see that we now know the objectives, strategies, initiatives of this account, and then what key capabilities and challenges they're trying to solve. And then from there, if I click on uh, like Unshackled as an example customer. So if I click on, your company's name here, what we then take that information to, we take that general account research and we marry it together with everything that I mentioned that we learned through automated agents and sucking in their proprietary information. Now we've learned, what do they sell? What audience do they serve? What problems do they solve for that audience? Who do they compete with? How are they unique? And then we suck in their case studies if we find them on the web automatically, or you can feed them internally behind the scenes. And then once we get those case studies, we know of samples where there's value unlocked and delivered for these solutions. And then we can pattern match against those target accounts that you're researching and automatically generate the value hypothesis. This is dynamically generated value hypothesis mapping into those challenges and problems that we know this account is trying to solve for. So the rep knows exactly when they go into those meetings, which products they should sell, what the impact for that account is when they sell those products, where they've had success like this in other referenceable case studies, and then how they should pitch it into the account. And this is all auto generated for them. They also have insights around things like, the company news, what tech stack is this account running, where does their solution map competitively or complementary to those solutions that target account is running, and where are they hiring personas that match the personas they serve by department, so they might get a chance to reference that and break into the account in that high growth area. So this is example of out of the box account research that's there day one for them. And then I want to show you an example of custom AI enrichment as well. So we can't imagine all of the automated AI enrichment that every single type of customer in the world would want. So we give you the flexibility to build on top of the automated research with your own customized AI enrichment. And so here we're looking at what we refer to as AI columns. And if you go in here, you simply click this button, we could come in here and just put any natural language statement or sentence, or even give it a complex command with where it has to go get information, run formulas, and give you a scored output,
Yeah.
like territory weighted, account column, for example. So
Yeah.
factor in multiple inputs, and then you tell it what is important, and then it'll give you a weighted score of whether how good is this account as a match, for or what's the wallet share of opportunity to maybe go get in this account, things like this. And so I'll just show you some examples here where we've already run some of these. So this example demo is an AI native go to market company like Orsell, and so things that might be interesting for sellers of a company like this to know is like what's the annual AI tool spend of this target account,
Mm.
and so you can see in this AI column somebody, on my team went in and they just asked it a question. Help me estimate the total sell potential to this particular account, given the kind of go to market tools that they're using and what we sell. And from there, Oracell simply turned this natural language prompt or question into a very
Mm.
detailed list where we've automated the selection process of what data sources Oracell needs to go get this information from. So you don't have to give it, a template with 5 descending waterfall data sources and go through a workflow to tell it what to do. You simply ask that question like you and I were talking about it. We
Yeah.
automate the proper data sources to interrogate. We automate the instructions for the prompt. We make sure that we double check to make sure these sources are reputable. And then we decide based on the type of question or command that's being given, what type of columns need to be added to the UI. And it dynamically generates those columns. And if we were to hit update, it would have added this for us. And let's go take a look at an example. We can see that it's estimated our spend for this account for go to market tooling on Ninja One. And it's given us our logic as to why and how we derived at that conclusion.
Yeah. Nice, nice.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm happy to keep going.
Yeah, no.
You wanted us to keep it short, so I've narrowed it down to a pretty brief conversation today.
Yeah, yeah. No, this is great to see, and I mean, I love the flexibility of it too, because I was as you were talking through that, I was just thinking how there's there's tools that use AI and they can automatically generate things, and yet there's some rigidity on many of them. It's kind of to your point, it's whatever the software developers decided was important for the audience versus giving the flexibility. I mean, as you mentioned at the top of the show, you've been in the trenches, so to speak, doing this stuff, so you probably had a lot of great ideas for what to put in there, but to build the flexibility for others to in a whether it's a niche thing that they just need or just they have specific use. I mean, everywhere's different, right? So that's
Right.
really powerful.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
We definitely wanna there are opinionated areas, and
Yeah.
guide rails within the solution around some of the intelligent automation built on best practices and the sales frameworks that a customer might add and turn on or create on their own, but it's balanced against that automation is balanced against human in the loop with
Yeah.
easy customization, which is really, as you can see, just a couple clicks away. And that
Yeah.
kind of experience lives not just in the accounts. You do this exact same kind of thing for opportunities and contacts, as I mentioned earlier. So
Yeah.
it's really endless. So you can extend this power to your marketing team, to your sellers, to your SDRs, or if you wanted to kind of lock in a standard approach, you could have operations pre-configure it, and everybody gets the same experience. It's designed to be very flexible and but powerful at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. So one last question for you. As
Yeah.
you were building this, what was the feature or maybe features that you were like, wow, I wish I would have had this, 5, 10 years ago or something like, when did it kind of click for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, the platform does so much.
Yeah.
We really, have an AI native CRM platform here that knocks out about the legacy CRMs and about 15 other products that stack on top of it.
Yeah.
And so that initial aha moment was less about a particular feature and more about the aggregated pain.
Mm. Yeah.
And it harness as an example, $100 million business. We had 22 products to support marketing, sales, and CS. And I was spending $3 million a year in SaaS tooling. I had a team of over, like, I think it was 11 operations team members who were fantastic at their job, but they were overburdened trying to integrate all of these products. Their day to day workflows started to step on each other because all of these niche products that you bring in on top of your CRM bring databases with them, they bring workflows with them, they bring analytics engines with them, and they became not only redundant, but really, really started to kill productivity through the tool sprawl really yielding thrash,
Yeah.
thrash for my operations team, thrash for my sales team, inconsistent information being shared, and views of the customer, inconsistent views of the customer across marketing, sales, and CS, all people who are engaging directly with customers. And so my one of my biggest frustrations, I think, was more aggregately just about that why do we need 22 tools?
Right.
This is a single customer journey. We're a single team. We should be able to have a consolidated, streamlined view of our customer interactions, and we should be able to intelligently support every part of that interaction in a way that makes sense, sitting on top of a unified data structure utilizing AI logic to provide intelligent automation that's relevant for our marketing user, an SDR user, a sales user, a leader, ops
Yeah.
person, a CS person at that exact moment of that interaction with that prospect or customer. And we just didn't, I felt like the entire industry had just accepted this tool sprawl, you know, state of affairs. And we saw AI as a disruptive opportunity to take a first principles approach to rethinking what should a go-to-market tool stack look like in a modern era.
Yeah.
And should that start with a 25-year-old framework?
Right.
Yeah. And so that's how we built that's really the genesis of what led to us building Orsell.
Nice, nice. Love it. Well, Jason, thanks again for joining. For those that liked what they see here and wanna learn more, where should they go?
You can come to orsell.ai, and as you do, we'd love to interact with you and provide a longer demo. I'll sneak peek an announcement here for you. I talked a little bit about those legacy architectures today. I'm also going to let you in on a secret. So in a couple weeks, we'll be announcing our second product, and it's an AI native go-to-market operating system, which will allow Oracell customers to have the power of choice in their architecture. Do they want to start afresh or migrate onto an AI native CRM platform, or do they want to keep their existing CRM solution and put an AI native go-to-market operating system on top of it? So that
Nice.
that announcement will be coming out in a couple weeks, and I think you're the first to hear of it on a
Nice.
podcast. So I hope the audience will check it out.
Nice, love it. Well, again, I'd like to thank Jason Eubanks, co-founder and CEO at Orsell, for joining the show. You can learn more about Jason, Orsell, and the upcoming announcements by following the links in the show notes.
Thanks a lot, Craig. It was a pleasure. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, thank you.